Hi, this is Professor Golden, and welcome to part 2 of the training video on how to perform online research and create APA citations. For purposes of my classes, you need to learn how to use internet-based authoritative sources. Those are the only sources that are acceptable in your research paper and in your postings, your initial postings online. So what does internet-based authoritative sources mean? Well, first of all, internet-based means that anyone who's looking at your citation should quickly be able to see that it came from the internet, and the way to do that is to have either a URL, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator, that's the unique address of a web page on the internet, or a DOI, a Digital Object Identifier, which is a string of letters and numbers that is also a unique identifier for an object on the internet. So that's what internet-based means. It means you're finding something on the internet that has a URL or a DOI number. Authoritative sources is one of two types of articles you can use for this class, and you can only use these two. The first is peer-reviewed journal articles. The second is government publications, both of which you're going to be able to find on the web. So now let's move on and talk about and show you exactly how to perform internet-based authoritative sources research. To find peer-reviewed journal articles, the St. Leo University online library is the only place you need to go. You start by going to our class homepage and click on the Resources tab on the left-hand side, and you'll see one of the entries is Online Library. Click on that, and it says click here to access the online library. I know there are maybe other ways to get to the library. However you get there, as long as you do get there, this is the screen you want to be at, the quick search screen that has a search bar. This tab appears by default, and let's enter the search terms violent female juveniles. And press enter or go. When the results are shown, look to the left side of the screen and under the Format heading, check the box labeled Peer Reviewed. This will limit what comes up to only peer-reviewed journal articles, which is the only thing we're going to be using. Now, there are three things that can happen when you find an article listed. One, the article may not be available on St. Leo's database, but it's listed here so you can search for other libraries for the article. So even though it's listed here, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be able to see it here online, but in most cases you will. Which leads us to the second thing that can happen. When you click on the article, you may be able to see the article immediately on screen. Or third, the article's abstract will appear on the screen, but not the article itself, and you'll have to click an icon titled PDF full text, found on the left-hand side of the screen, to see the entire article along with its URL or DOI. Now, in front of you on the screen, you should see the continuing myth of the violent juvenile offender. Let's work with this document. Click on the title, and it's finding a copy in the library. And this is the second of the two documents that I said could come up. It'll just pop up directly on the screen, but it's not the full text. You need to click on View Full Text in order to see the article. And there it is. It starts at page 1, and you can see it's a bit of a lengthy article. 26 pages or so. On the right-hand side, there's a little bit about the article. Look, there's the DOI and the title of the publication, Criminal Justice Review, and the date of the publication, spring 2005. Here's even the volume and the number, as well as 5 to 29, which are the pages this was published on. Now, a word to the wise. You've got a 29-page article here. I do not expect you to read it all. Here's what you should be doing. In this class, you don't have to read the entire article. You do, however, need to read several short sections that hold the most relevant information for your research. First, you need to read the abstract. And there it is. Second, you should read the introductory paragraphs that explain what the article is going to discuss. And there are only about 4 or 5 of them here. Finally, the last section you should read will be titled either Discussion or Conclusion. Everything else in between the introduction and the discussion or conclusion is going to be an explanation of how this article came about, what kind of data was collected, the results of the data, the analysis of the data. So of course you'll find the discussion and conclusion toward the end. There it is. If you read just those 3 things, the abstract, the introductory paragraphs, and the conclusion, you should have a pretty good gist of what is contained within this article. Here's what you need to do with the article now. First, save it to a convenient location on your computer. Whether that is to your desktop or a special folder you've set up for your class, just make sure you do save this so you can reference it later. Second, read that abstract, the introductory paragraphs, and the conclusion or discussion. Now we're back at the first page, and again, the most important parts for developing an APA citation are going to be on the first page or 2, or they may be over to the right-hand side. And that's going to be the title of the article, the authors, the date of publication, which in this case is over here, spring 2005, but if you scroll down, you may see May 2005, May being in the spring, of course. Either one will do. You need to have the name of the publication, including any issue or volume number, Criminal Justice Review, Volume 30, Number 1, and the pages of the article, 5 to 29. Again, sometimes you'll also see that over on the right-hand side. You, of course, also are going to need a DOI or a URL, and the DOI is clearly listed here. However, so's the URL. It's right up here. You don't need both. Either use one or the other. It's completely up to you. If you're going to quote directly from this article, you need to make a note of the page numbers from which you're quoting material, as that's required as part of an APA citation, and that's yet another reason to save the article. Now, let's have you try this. There are now going to be 2 exercises that you need to submit to me by email before you submit anything for Module 2. Again, these 2 exercises are required and are part of Module 1. Here are the 2 exercises that must be submitted before the end of Module 1. The first exercise is for you to find and save to your desktop a peer-reviewed journal article with the words "female juvenile arsonist" in the title. To open that PDF full-text article and copy and paste the URL in an email to me. Again, you'll be using St. Leo University's online library, just as we saw earlier in the video. use the search terms female juvenile arsonist, open the PDF full text article, and copy and paste the URL for that article in an email to me. The second exercise is similar, but I want you to change the search terms to racial profiling and searches. And again, open the PDF full text article, copy and paste the URL in an email to me. You can put both of these URLs in a single email or send me two separate emails. It's completely up to you. Again, the first one is female juvenile arsonist, and the second is racial profiling and searches. Write these down or pause the video at this time until you're able to complete these exercises. One final remark on research. We just finished discussing finding peer-reviewed journal articles through the St. Leo University Online Library. Remember that we said there is one other internet-based authoritative source for criminal justice research, and that it was government websites. I want to provide you with a list of the most useful U.S. government websites on which you can perform searches and find excellent information in the documents provided. Here they are on your screen. There's the National Criminal Justice Reference Service and its link, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and its link, the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Justice Program and its link, the National Institute of Justice and its crimesolutions.gov link, which doesn't always work, but it provides you with a page that has a resources tab on it, and if you click on the resources tab, you generally get to the place you need to be in order to do research and find documents on the subject matter you're researching. And finally, the Office for Victims of Crime's website. This is not the only place you can find all of these on this video. You can also go to our class homepage and under Resources, look at the last link, CJ Government Sources. Click on that, and there they are again, and when you click on those links, it will take you directly to the web page and CJRS.